It was very impactful. Everybody in the room was on tenterhooks, just waiting to see what decision the judge would hand down.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the 10 most notable celebrities who ended up in either jail or prison in 2024.
Also tonight, an actor who starred on the Oprah Winfrey Network is now charged with murder.
Number 10. Sean Kingston.
New at 11, singer Sean Kingston, back in Florida.
This singer hit it big in 2007, with his debut album reaching number 6 on the Billboard 200 and spawning the number 1 single, Beautiful Girls. 17 years later, he was in jail. It all started in May 2024, when Kingston's Florida mansion was raided by a SWAT team. Both the musician and his mother, Janice Turner, were arrested.
Prosecutors say Kingston committed more than $1 million worth of fraud, alleging he stole money, jewelry, a Cadillac Escalade, and even furniture.
They had allegedly used fraudulent documents to obtain luxury items like watches and cars, illegally obtaining up to $1 million worth of goods. They were both charged with 5 counts of wire fraud, and Kingston was booked into Florida's Broward County Jail. If convicted, both Kingston and Turner each face up to 20 years in prison.
He had certain obligations he had to meet, and he met some of them in the past, and there was no particular deadline for him to meet the rest of the obligations.
Number 9. Peter Nygard.
It is the Me Too era, punctuated by names like Epstein and Weinstein. And now there is another, Peter Nygard.
A popular fashion executive, Peter Nygard is the founder of Nygard International, which at one time was Canada's largest manufacturer of women's clothing. The clothes catapulted Nygard to fame, and he became one of the richest men in Canada, with a net worth of $900 million. But his career has also been marred by allegations of sexual assault, and in 2020, 57 plaintiffs filed a class action lawsuit claiming that Nygard was engaged in sex trafficking.
And I remember blacking out for a while.
His son, Kaizen Bickel, also told the media that his father was a systematic monster who used his business talents for evil. Nygard was found guilty of sexual assault and sentenced to 11 years in prison in September of 2024.
Many of us have waited for this day for quite a few years. For me, I'm a 21-year survivor. I've been waiting for this day for 21 years.
Number 8. Nancy Gonzalez.
Nancy Gonzalez, love that. Okay.
While certainly not a household name, Nancy Gonzalez was quite prominent in the circles of luxury apparel, with her famous handbags being sold in Harrods and Saks Fifth Avenue. Many prominent celebrities have also been spotted using her bags, allowing her name to become synonymous with high-end fashion. But that all crumbled in April of 2024, when Gonzalez was convicted of smuggling exotic animal skins into the United States. Gonzalez had violated federal wildlife laws by crafting handbags out of python and crocodile skins, and then hiring couriers to smuggle them into the United States. She pled guilty to the charges in Miami and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Number 7. Youngboy never broke again.
Rapper NBA Youngboy is out of the Cache County Jail on a $100,000 bond. Going
by a number of different stage names, including Youngboy Never Broke Again and NBA Youngboy, Kentrell Gaulden has had a successful career despite a string of legal issues. In 2024, Gaulden was already in the midst of a federal firearms charge when he was arrested in Utah for identity fraud and possession of controlled substances.
Well, speaking of crimes, in Louisiana, NBA Youngboy just got sent back to Baton Rouge, 63 charges over prescription drug fraud allegations.
According to prosecutors, Gaulden was using fake IDs to fraudulently purchase prescription drugs. His house arrest stemming from the firearms charge was revoked, and he was sent to jail. He accepted a global plea deal encompassing both the firearm and fraud charges and was sentenced to 27 months in prison.
From what they're saying, he was calling up pharmacies, pretending to be doctors, and there was girls that were...
I just feel like when you need help, you need help.
Number 6. Justin Timberlake.
We have breaking news. A law enforcement official tells ABC News pop star Justin Timberlake was arrested overnight for driving while intoxicated.
Social media went crazy on June 18, 2024, when Justin Timberlake was arrested in New York for driving under the influence. He was taken to jail by the Sag Harbor Police Department, and his mugshot was spread far and wide for the world to see. Despite insisting that he only had one martini, he refused to take a breathalyzer, and the arresting police officer noted that he was displaying strong signs of intoxication.
According to the criminal complaint, when an officer pulled him over, Timberlake had bloodshot, glassy eyes, slowed speech, and was unsteady on his feet.
He eventually pleaded guilty to driving while impaired, which is a non-criminal traffic violation, and in exchange, the DWI charge was dropped. He was fined $500 and given 25 hours of community service.
And so what I'd like to say to everyone watching and listening, even if you've had one drink, don't get behind the wheel of a car.
Number 5. Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam Bankman-Fried has been sentenced to 25 years for what's been called one of the biggest financial crimes in US history.
Known as the poster boy of crypto, Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF as he's often called, founded the cryptocurrency exchange FTX in 2019. Unfortunately for investors, the whole thing was a massive scheme that threatened the future and integrity of digital currency. In 2022, Bankman-Fried was charged with a laundry list of white-collar crimes, including money laundering and both wire and security fraud.
But when customers went to withdraw their funds in November 2022, the funds were not there, and a jury found that that money had been moved to a hedge fund, an investment fund called Alameda Research.
The highly prominent United States versus Bankman-Fried trial began on October 3, 2023, with the FTX founder facing 5 counts of conspiracy and 2 counts of wire fraud. He was found guilty on all 7, and in March 2024 was given 25 years in prison.
Bankman-Fried would not discuss what his life is like here behind bars.
Number 4. Ali Abulaban.
It involved vulnerable witnesses, victims who, again, had no time to react, no time to defend themselves.
This comedian is better known as Jin Kid, a comedian that was popular on Instagram and TikTok. Jin Kid was known for doing impressions, specifically Tony Montana from Scarface, and his Skyrim in real life videos went mega viral.
Fool, you have been caught. You picked the wrong place to get lost, friend. Never should have come here.
Talented though he was, this story does not have a happy ending. In October of 2021, Abulaban murdered his estranged wife Anna and her boyfriend Rayburn Barron. Abulaban blamed his actions on a drug-induced psychosis, but the jury was not convinced, and he was convicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder, resulting in 2 life sentences.
So the bottom line here is he will die in prison. He will never be a free man. He will take his last breath there.
Number 3. Akili McDowell.
Once called a rising star, the 21-year-old from Channelview is in jail on a $400,000 bond.
An up-and-coming actor, Akili McDowell has appeared in 2 episodes of Billions and starred as the titular character in the Oprah Winfrey Network's David Makes Man. But his burgeoning career was cut short in August 2024 when he was arrested for murder.
And he was recently doing press for a movie that was released in June, even posting about it after the shooting that landed him in jail.
Back on July 20th, McDowell confronted a man named Cesar Peralta in the parking lot of a Houston apartment complex. Witnesses report that the two entered a physical altercation, and McDowell eventually shot and killed Peralta before fleeing. He was caught and taken to jail on a charge of first-degree murder.
This defendant was seen talking to the complainant. They had a little fist fight, and then the defendant pulled out a pistol and shot him once.
Number 2. Travis Scott.
Rapper Travis Scott was arrested for disorderly intoxication and trespassing in Miami earlier today.
Despite being a huge star, Travis Scott has faced a number of significant legal issues throughout the years. The summer of 2024 was a particularly difficult time for Scott, who found himself in jail on 2 separate occasions. On August 9th, he was arrested after publicly fighting his own bodyguard and a security guard of Paris's Four Seasons Hotel George V.
Police arresting rapper Travis Scott at a hotel in Paris after fighting with a security guard.
But the more notable event occurred less than 2 months later, when Scott was arrested for disorderly intoxication and trespassing. His mugshot was taken by the Miami-Dade Police Department, and Scott used this now famous photo on various pieces of merchandise.
In fact, one of the guards at the prison told us that when he was released from the jail, you could see him pacing around, didn't look very happy that no one was there just waiting to pick him up.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Diddy.
New allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. An attorney says he represents 120 accusers who've come forward with sexual misconduct allegations.
One of the most significant scandals in modern history, Diddy experienced a legendary downfall throughout 2024. In September of that year, he was arrested on various charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering.
That video led to a lot more scrutiny on what he has been accused of. What do we know at this point about what this case might ultimately be about?
This followed numerous allegations of sexual assault, including one from his ex-partner, Cassie Ventura. A huge bombshell occurred the following month when the Washington Post reported that up to 120 lawsuits would be filed against Diddy, with all plaintiffs, many of whom are minors, claiming sexual assault. His trial will begin on May 5th, 2025, and in the meantime, Diddy is being housed in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. His cellmate is the aforementioned Sam Bankman-Fried.
If these lawsuits actually come to pass, Combs would be facing sexual misconduct allegations on an unprecedented scale.
Can you think of any more examples? Let us know in the comments below.
His attorney in that case is asking a federal appeals court to let him out on bail, guys.